Hi, I'm Dana Obleman. This video is for my free sleep course for babies 13 to 24 months right here on YouTube. If you feel like you could use some more guidance, and check out Sleep Sense Plus, the link is in the description below. Good morning, welcome back. I'd like to talk a little bit today about leaving the house. Now, at the beginning of our journey together, I asked you to really try to clear your schedule for 2 weeks. That lays a really good foundation for naps. It makes sure that our child isn't falling asleep when we're out and about. But now you might be wondering, all right, this is all well and good, but how do I actually still have a life? Well, I want to give you some tips today for still having a life, because I realize that that's an important part of the parenting journey and the life experience, is to go out occasionally. So I always suggest people try their best to work their schedule around the child's nap. Especially if your child is just on one nap a day, this becomes a lot easier. You've got a lot of hours in the morning or the later afternoon to plan your outings. And really, that's what you should be doing. Go run your child around all morning so they take a great nap, and then go have some fresh air in the afternoon. But what happens when you're driving back from the park and it's getting close to nap time and that little one is starting to nod off in the car? We really want to try to avoid this. I call napping in the car nap sabotage, because even if it's only a minute or two, your child will have a very hard time going to sleep for their nap. I can remember days driving home with my son from our play group. I got the windows down, I've got the music blasting, I'm passing him back snacks. I'm doing everything I can to keep him awake, because I know that if he nods off for a few minutes in this car, it's going to cause me problems with our nap. So what happens if it can't be avoided? Because sometimes it just can't. Well, you have two choices. One, you can either just keep driving, maybe go through the drive-thru and get yourself a coffee and just drive around town a little bit and call that the nap. If we could get 30, 45 minutes of nap in here, that's better than nothing. Or we go home, we get him out of the car seat, give him about 20 or 30 minutes to play or give him lunch or a snack, and then try for the nap. We need to build some fatigue again, because he's had a little rejuvenation, a little refresher with this minute or two of nap. We've got to let fatigue build to a high enough level that he'll go down and take a proper afternoon nap. So those are really your two ways to handle it. Now, I suggest that people try their best to be home, but we do want to explore going out. If you are so rigid that you never let your child nap anywhere but his crib, then it might eventually cause problems when you do want to go out or take a trip or go to your friends for the afternoon. So with my son, maybe once a week or every other week, I went to a girlfriend's house for the afternoon. I would bring our playpen along. When it was his nap time, I would find a quiet room, do some of his nap time routine with him, and put him down for a nap. We would do this at bedtime as well. We often went to friends for dinner. We would bring our playpen along, do some of his routine when it was getting close to 7, find a nice dark quiet spot for him, put him in the bassinet, it's too big for a bassinet, in the pack and play, and then when we were ready to go home later in the evening, we would just get him and transfer him home. It's mildly disruptive because we're fragmenting his night by getting him up at 11, but it's much better than trying to manage him through an evening, trying to have a good time with our friends while he's getting grouchier and tired and crankier. And also, too, getting a babysitter every single weekend or every other weekend is an expense most people can't afford. So we would just bring him along. And the first few times, you guessed it, he didn't really like it. It's different. The environment's slightly off. I've been having a lot of fun visiting with your friends and maybe don't want to go to bed right now. So there was absolutely some protest the first few times we tried this, and we just went to a straight leave and check. Every 10 minutes or so, one of us would go in to reassure him and leave. And as we went through this and he got better and he understood that It doesn't really matter where we are, she still expects the same things from me. He became very portable in that way, and it became a bit of a party trick, really, to take him places, and everyone would watch how well he would go to bed. So that's something you can look forward to down the road. Okay, tonight, night 11, we are in the same spot. Either you've completely left the room, keep going with that with your leave and checks, or you're partially out of view with your legs just showing. We're going to do one more night in that location before we make another move tomorrow. See you in the morning.